This is it. This is episode 186 of NoLaughTrack podcast. My name is Justin Severson, the host. Thank you, Circle of Heat, for letting us play your music there, as always, at the beginning. I love doing these shows every week. A lot of times, since I've been doing it for, over just about 3 years now, it's people have been back 2 times, 3 times. I get these built relationships that I've had with these people. That's awesome. I also get excited when it's new people that I've never met, and this week is a case just like that. Ian Abramson is here, and we are recording, and we met 10, 20, 30 minutes ago.
That's right.
And here we are.
I'm excited.
We're a day late.
And $1 short.
Yeah, we're a day late and more than $1 short.
We're pretty short. Okay.
And normally record Wednesdays, but you couldn't fly into town.
Right.
Where were you coming from?
I was coming from L.A. And then flew into Denver and got stuck in Denver.
On Tuesday. Was stuck in Denver. Did they give you the old, here's a ticket to stay at the Ramada?
Nope. They said because of weather, I couldn't even get all I wanted was a meal voucher. I just wanted them to say, you know what? We know you've had a long day. Have a sandwich. And they said, you absolutely don't get a sandwich.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I get, listen, if everybody that got stuck that day got a sandwich for free from them, they would have been out of a lot of money. So I get why they wouldn't. But, man, when you're... When you're stuck and you just want a sandwich, it seems like such a small thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I thankfully have never been stuck at an airport. They can't be good. Did you see it coming? Were you checking being in L.A.?
I honestly didn't anticipate it. I should have been more ready for that. But I was on my way to the airport when my first flight of the day got canceled.
Oh, okay.
And then I immediately because I was going to go to Minneapolis directly.
Yeah.
And I was going to be on Spirit Airlines, which is notoriously terrible. They're known for being just the worst airline, and I don't mind saying that.
I don't think they'd disagree.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
we are what we are.
Right. I've had multiple flights canceled by them, and so when that was canceled, I assumed that it was not weather. I assumed that it was. An issue with them not selling enough tickets because nobody wants to fly Spirit or anything. Hi, I'm not a fan of Spirit Airlines. So I flew into Denver, and I was on a different airline, and then the flight to Minneapolis kept getting delayed, and then canceled.
Yeah. We had a hell of a snowstorm.
Yeah.
It was the biggest of the year.
Man, and it's crazy because there's snow on the ground now, but it's kind of nice out.
It is.
With that in mind.
It is, yeah, it really is. Snow doesn't. The only time snow scares me is when I'm driving in it. Otherwise, it's beautiful.
It's always smart too to talk about weather on a podcast because people can listen to it months down the road, and so the small boring conversation topic now will also be totally irrelevant just soon enough. Just around the corner.
Yes. Let's get to history here in Minneapolis, sir.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever been here before?
No. You're going to give me a breakdown of your role in the Civil War?
I'm the wrong one to ask about that.
I did
very poor public education here.
Okay,
yeah,
that's some history.
Yeah,
great. Okay, yeah.
My history is I didn't get taught enough history. No, I want your history in Minneapolis, sir.
Okay, I wasn't involved in the Civil War at all, actually. I know what side I would have been for, and that's the side that ended up winning.
Okay.
But I guess I would say that in pretty much any war.
I thought maybe you were going to say based on color of uniforms.
I'm just gonna be totally honest here, and I don't remember which color was the good color for the Civil War. One of them was gray and one of them was blue. Is that right?
I believe so.
Oh man, listen. Good and bad is not black and white; it's shades of gray, right?
Hey.
Okay. Hey, all right, we're having fun.
There you
Listen.
go.
Still don't know which side the gray uniforms were for.
Tweet us directly.
Yes, listen, if you tweet that at me, if you tweet the correct answer, I will retweet it. When you hear this, if you just say, this is the side that you're thinking of, then I will retweet it.
And double points if you're like some history major.
Absolutely double points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to answer. Have you been to Minneapolis before?
I have not.
No.
No, I've never been. But I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great. I love the Midwest. I spent 3 years in Chicago, which is a different type of Midwest. But this feels more like true Midwest. You know, this is people have a particular type of friendliness here, and there's just kind of people embracing themselves and the world. I don't know what I'm saying. This sounds like I'm just being
We'll see what you think
flowery.
at the end of the week about that genuine niceness.
I said what I said was a particular type of friendliness.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I get. Listen, I'm sure there's a range of people that live in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you know what I mean. You know, the way that someone from Minneapolis is polite is different than the way that someone from Chicago is polite.
That's very true. Very true. So when I saw your name on the schedule here, and then knew that we're hoping that I would have you on the podcast,
And you
it's
assumed
never
it was
a
misspelled.
guarantee.
Right.
No.
I saw his name. That can't be right. Too many vowels.
Ian.
They forgot the BR in front of Brian.
This isn't going to work.
Right.
One of the first things I found when I was searching for stuff about you is an article from the Chicago Tribune of you marrying your career.
That's absolutely right. I'm happily married to my career.
Things are going...
Oh, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm in Minneapolis with my career.
Yeah.
We're doing great, you know. And this is true. If you add me on Facebook, you can also add my career. We're happily married. It's listed on there. And yeah, the Chicago Tribune wrote up my wedding. Very nice of them.
For people that don't believe that.
Yes, you can Google. Feel free to Google that. Add my career. These aren't just fake jokes. This is my life. You know, I married my career happily.
I just got back from my honeymoon.
And boy, are your arms tired.
Hey,
okay.
And
where'd you go?
We went to Jamaica.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man.
You went to Yemen and Jamaica. All right. How long were you there?
It was a stopover in Yemen. 6 nights.
And boy, were your arms tired.
Yes.
All right.
6
okay.
nights of paradise.
Nice.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
The days, okay. Nights, paradise.
I loved it. And was there a honeymoon with you? And
A permanent honeymoon to L.A., actually.
There you go.
Yeah. I was living in Chicago, and then me and my career, we discussed it, and we said, you know what we should do? Why just have 6 days of a honeymoon? Why not have a lifetime in L.A.? So we moved. So we moved to L.A.
Kind of cheapens my relationship, really.
No. See, with us,
I
it's
can
like
only
you get.
afford to give my wife I can only afford to give my spouse 6 days and nights.
We could only afford a one-way ticket. That's the way to look at it.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done that. I couldn't do it the one way. This isn't a complete assumption about you. I have no idea.
Okay.
But I get the feeling that you're a Pee Wee Herman fan. Yes or
Sure,
no?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Pee Wee Herman. Wow, I don't get that often, but yeah, I would absolutely own being a Pee Wee Herman fan. I think he's great.
Yeah.
Man, wow, that's very keen.
Okay, good. I'm a fan as well.
Of me or Pee Wee?
Well, both now.
Hey, now we're talking.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I mean, Pee Wee for decades.
You strike me as a Studs Terkel fan. Am I right? Am I wrong? He had said that he was he had a lot of experience in radio. All right.
Yes.
Studs Terkel is definitely the Pee Wee Herman of radio.
The what?
Studs Terkel?
Studs
Oh
Terkel.
Man, you got to look up Studs Terkel.
I don't know.
He was like his generation's Ira Glass.
Okay.
Yeah, if you know
I
Ira
know who
Glass
that
from
is.
yeah,
Yes.
right. So he would just interview working class people and just have like an hour-long conversation with a construction worker, and did a lot of really interesting writing and interviews on race and working, and some really great interviews with celebrities, and always interesting. I don't know. Studs Terkel, check him out. I'm plugging a man that's been dead for quite a while and kind of forgotten with a very cool name.
It's an awesome name.
Right? Studs Terkel sounds made up, but it is not.
If you say so.
Right.
If you say so. It could be is Studs short for something?
It should be. I don't know. I don't know.
Studster.
Yeah, right?
I don't know
Yeah,
what that would
Studley.
be.
I don't know.
Studley. No, I've never heard of that person. But are you excited for the Super Bowl?
What is that? I've never heard of that.
Is
that a Minneapolis thing?
They'll be on TVs in Minneapolis all over.
Oh,
the place,
okay,
actually.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we will too someday.
Coldplay is playing the halftime.
Yeah, that's appropriate with this temperature. All right, okay. Coldplay. That's what they should name the moves in the Super Bowl. All right, this next one. This is the Coldplay. Hey, listen, these jokes are riffed just for today. Right off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. And saved forever on a.
Hey, and thank God for that, right?
Bit of audio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. You're welcome. How was last night?
It was great. Yeah.
And by that I mean here at the show. You were performing.
Oh! I thought you just meant like how did I sleep? The show was wonderful. It was a packed crowd. This is everybody says. I talk to anybody you talk to. Acme Comedy Club, one of the best clubs in the country, hands down.
Yes.
Everyone agrees.
They're telling you the truth.
Yeah. Well, now I can attest to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is my point is. Been hearing for years how good Acme Comedy Club is. When you're not from somewhere and you're hearing about their local comedy club, that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah,
you know, and that's really saying something.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the room of one of the best comedy clubs in the country.
I love hearing that. I'm just an employee here, so. But,
yeah. I mean, listen, this is so. Last night was a blast. People were. Just so friendly. My stuff can sometimes be a little weird, and the people were wanting to follow me and wanting to be like, "All right, I'm determined to like this guy," and I really loved that, and we had a great time.
Do you ever feel like you're losing them? Like, it's a crowd not as good as Minneapolis.
I think that any comedian has lost a crowd,
yeah.
But that said, sure, yeah. I think that there are times when I'm like. All right, I'm screaming and I am just dumped water on myself, and they're like, "What is happening?" You know. And last night I dumped water on myself, and they were like, "All right, we like this."
Okay,
yeah. So that was good.
I didn't know there was a water spillage on.
Just a very tiny bit. Yeah,
okay.
not anything.
No, like this isn't like Gallagher where they've got to block themselves in the front row.
Correct. Yeah, I wouldn't want anybody to feel badly about that. But by the end of the night, you know, I had traveled through time. I had somebody uncuff me from handcuffs. I'd dumped water on myself. We all reenacted movies together. It was like, you know, there's fun things. And sometimes people are like, I don't know what's happening right now. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I was glad. I'm making it sound like I just bomb all the time, but
no.
I promise that listen, if you're somebody that wants to hire me, it's worth it. Listen, that's all I'm trying to say.
If people are listening to this podcast, they get it. You know
Hopefully.
I mean?
Hey, if you're listening, you're great. Anybody hearing this right now, I'm a fan of.
Yeah. Me too. Big time.
That's great.
I was waiting to hear your laugh, dude. You have an awesome laugh.
Whoa,
yeah.
Where did you hear my laugh?
I do my research.
You researched my laugh?
Well, you were something that I listened to or watched where you were,
hey, that's awesome.
And I was like, this guy's got a unique laugh.
Now I'm very aware of my laugh.
Don't be self-conscious.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Hey, I can be whatever I want, my mom said. All right.
I used to when I did the radio show, I would a lot of people pointed out I had a distinctive laugh at some things, and sometimes I got really bad feedback from that. People that, that was the one thing they didn't like about me. But then others thought if they didn't hear it, they'd miss it. So,
wow.
Yeah.
A divisive laugh.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying right now, I like yours.
You're a fan.
Yeah.
Hey. I hope everybody listening is a fan, and if you're not, I apologize, but what can I do about it? You don't choose your laugh.
Yeah, no,
You can choose your friends, you can choose your laughs, but you can't choose your friends' laughs, you know?
Please don't. There it is.
Oh, man.
We're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
So like I said, I did my research, sir.
You did?
I did again. And I read something about that you're from Moreno Valley. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Moreno
I am.
Valley?
Yes,
yeah.
that's born and raised in Moreno Valley, California.
I had never heard of that place, so I looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you find anything interesting? Because I'd be surprised.
White seems to be in the minority.
That's true,
that
actually.
correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Wow, you really did your research.
Yeah, I'm curious. So you went through high school and then you left?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. But the same house from the day I was born till the day I graduated high school. Yeah.
Was white the minority in the schools you went to? I'm curious because it was for me.
Oh, interesting. Where did you
St.
grow
Paul.
up? Oh, okay. Yeah, it was. And I didn't think much about that
Me neither.
because
Until I
that
went to
was
college.
my life. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I felt very out of place when everybody else was like, "Listen, this is normal. Everybody's white." And I was like, I feel very weird about this. Yeah. Absolutely.
I went from St. Paul to Duluth, and there were only maybe 24 black students up there, and they all hung out together.
Yeah.
And it was very odd.
Yeah.
I grew up where it was, a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Asians, black not so much, but everybody mixed. And it just was
you couldn't help but
opposite culture shock.
Sure, right?
Guess?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. When you that's funny and bizarre. Opposite culture shock, where you're like, wait, what the heck? How come everything's homogenized here?
Yeah. Very odd. So I thought that stood out to me.
Nobody's ever brought that up to me. That's so funny. I think that's an important part of what informed me. In that
completely.
I was unaware of how unique that was.
Yeah.
It just was like, growing up, we looked like a McDonald's ad, in that we were like just a wide range of. McDonald's is actually a bad example because they tend to use all one race in individual commercials.
You are right.
Yeah. But you guys know what I'm saying, where an advertisement is like, let's get everybody represented here, Yeah.
We're not talking mixed race commercials here.
Right.
Because then my attention's going to go right off the cheeseburger onto how did these two people end up together? That's
right. Oh, man. That's great.
Got ketchup and mustard together? Fine.
Sure.
Black and white?
Sure.
Oh.
Ketchup and mustard is actually what Ebony and Ivory, the song, is about.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's less rhymes for
yes,
ketchup and
absolutely.
mustard.
It's true. Yeah. They tried it. Worked real hard on it.
Well, you're going to love this then. I bet no one's done this as well.
Okay.
I looked up. Did you know that Moreno Valley has a Wikipedia page?
Oh, man. No, I didn't.
Yeah, they do. And I have some stats here.
Oh.
I want to see.
Yeah,
what
let's
say
talk
about
Moreno Valley, baby.
Yeah, I know. It's all going to add together to a good podcast.
Okay,
Bear
cool.
with me.
Hey, I love it.
All
I'm
right.
into it.
According to the city's 2009 annual financial report, I want to know how many of the top employers can you name from Moreno Valley
in 2009.
Yeah.
So that's 2 years after I graduated high school. So I'm trying to think. I think that Skechers opened up a factory there around that time and hired a bunch of people. Are they on the list?
No.
Okay, then I could be wrong too, because I was gone by this point. So
Okay,
that's why that jumped in my head, though.
There's a air reserve base.
Yes,
Right.
yes, that is actually an important part of Moreno Valley history. In the 90s, that made Moreno Valley a booming area in the country. It was like the fastest growing area in the country because it was not a reserve base; it was a full-on Air Force base.
Oh, wow.
And so that meant that military families needed housing quick, and so they just built all this housing, and that meant that lower middle class families could afford houses in this area. And also, Moreno Valley is a desert, so it meant that even after they build housing, like, it's still cheap, and this town just kind of starts flourishing because there's just so much going into it. And there are all these military jobs, and then a whole economy. There's schools that need to be employed. There's shopping centers that need employees. So there's all these jobs, and then it went from a Air Force base to an Air Force reserve, and that made the economy kind of collapse into itself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was interesting because all the military families then just left, basically, and that left this huge hole in the in Moreno Valley.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's so bizarre. Like I said, I've never spoken about this on a podcast or publicly, really. And I might have some of these facts not quite right, but I'm pretty sure that this is as I understand it, Moreno Valley's history.
Close enough.
Yeah. And so then that left all these empty houses, which then actually lowered prices, and it let families that wanted to move out of L.A. come from L.A. to the suburbs in Moreno Valley.
Sure.
Which was great for them, and also just meant that like crime rates went up because it was people who were looking for cheaper housing than L.A. and just kind of Moreno Valley kind of doubled down on a lower class, and this is like when I'm growing up and everything. So again, this is just kind of natural and normal for me as a kid, and that's kind of Moreno Valley's kind of come back up a little bit, but it's still just kind of this odd area.
Interesting. I'm just going to give you I'll go through
Please,
this real quick. By the way, in 2009, that Air Force base employed 9,000 people.
Oh,
that was number
okay.
one. But also on the list, and I don't know why this just stuck out to me, Walmart.
Okay, yep.
As well as Walgreens.
Yeah. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah. All the walls.
Walgreens more than Walmart. Which is very bizarre, but I bet if we went back and redid this thing.
Listen, let's make a movie about Moreno Valley, call it The Wolf on Walgreens.
There we go.
We got it. Get Martin Scorsese in here.
Come on. Let's do it. So anyway, that's what I had about Moreno Valley.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. That's so cool. I didn't mean to go on such a long, impassioned rant about the history of my hometown.
I like when people are talking about things they are passionate about. That's good. And also on the Wikipedia, they list how do they use it? Oh, notable people.
I can't imagine that there's anybody too notable.
Well, they what high school did you go to?
I went to Vista del Lago, and when I was a freshman there, it was the second year that it was open, so it's the newest of the high schools.
Is there one called Canyon Springs?
Yeah, my father worked there actually.
Look at that. Dude.
Yeah.
There's Bobby Kilty was a baseball player who played for the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, wow.
He went to Canyon Springs High School.
Whoa. Yeah. That is really cool, actually.
Kawhi Leonard, who plays basketball for the San Antonio Spurs.
Whoa.
Canyon Springs High School.
Canyon Springs.
Look at
that.
Huh?
Home of the Cougars. That's their we were the Ravens, they were the Cougars.
Okay. I'm glad you just brought up mascots.
Yeah?
Because I want to move on to where you went to college.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I said, I did my research.
Yeah.
Channel Islands?
Yep.
Is that how you say it?
Yep. California State University, Channel Islands. That's right. Yeah. The Channel Islands are a wildlife reserve off the coast of California, but they... So and the school is not on the Channel Islands.
Yeah.
How much have you looked into Channel Islands? Because I don't know what I'm going to be revealing to you and what.
No, go on. I did read that the name is very deceiving.
Yes.
That it's actually not on water.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's not an island.
Nope.
No.
Nope. It's just kind of out in the middle of nowhere in a town called Camarillo.
Okay.
And if they had called it Cal State Camarillo, the initials would have been Seasuck. So they didn't want to do that.
Okay, I didn't
so
know
instead they went for Seasucky.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's good. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. So, but fun fact, what they did was they repurposed buildings that were already there as a mental hospital. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I went to school at an abandoned mental hospital.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any remnants
They were mostly remnants.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was mostly any classroom you were in had at one point been part of the functioning mental hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. I was studying theater, and the theater building was the Catholic Church because people lived there. They had places of worship and such.
Uh-huh.
So they had made the Catholic Church and it looked a lot more like a Catholic church than a theater when I went there. Now they've continued to rebuild it and grow it out. But there were still the confessional booths. If there wasn't a cross when I started there was definitely still the outline of where the cross had been.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's even more eerie.
Yeah. It was strange.
Yeah. Oh wow. I definitely didn't get to that. How did you choose to go there?
Basically it's where I got in. It was new. They were looking for students, and I was like, this place seems cool. That's fine with me.
And it was how far away from
Like
home?
3 hours, and
3
that's
hours.
I wanted to be far enough away, but also I don't think I wanted to go too much further than that.
I did 2.5. So
yeah,
same thing.
right.
Yeah.
It's like
You
I
can
could
drive back.
get home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But my parents are going to drop by unexpectedly.
Sure, right. Exactly.
I'd have 2.5 hours warning.
What did you study in college?
Lots of stuff. Chicks.
Yeah, now
drugs,
we're talking. Yeah.
Alcohol.
And what'd you minor in?
Chicks.
Yep.
Drugs. Alcohol. I went to class a lot. I took copious notes.
Hey, nice.
Barely ever cracked a book open.
Okay.
And never graduated.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. But you still have those notes, and that's what's important.
If you got grades based on that, I would have got straight A's.
Wow.
On note taking. On attendance and note taking, I would have got A's.
Wow.
Test taking and reading a textbook.
Yep. Sure.
Not so
Hey,
good.
you're here. You've continued to live a good life. What is there to regret?
I didn't lose the ability to read.
Right.
I just don't.
I know people who have, and listen, they've got it rough.
I just don't do it in a textbook.
Right.
So you went for theater?
I did. Yeah. I went in studying English, came out studying theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had you done that in high school too?
A little bit, yeah. And I thought I was going to be more of like a novelist going in. And
wow.
That's what I novelist, short story guy. And then I took an acting class just kind of for fun. And then I was like, no, I think I can embrace theater majors more than English majors. I think that I found English majors to be a little. Their head was kind of in their own body, but I won't say at what point of entrance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was not an English major ever. So,
No?
Yeah.
You had switched majors a number of times?
They let you claim undecided. That's not fair. They should not let you join. I would like to go back and scold them for letting me in being undecided.
Undecided.
Because that means just showing up.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think undecided should not be allowed.
Interesting.
If my daughters get to that age and they haven't, even if it's nothing they're going to stick with,
sure,
I'm going to discourage that.
Yeah,
as strongly as possible.
Agreed. Yeah, I can see that. Just take a stab at something, and you'll know a lot quicker if you don't want to do it.
I agree. Yeah. Absolutely. And then you moved to Chicago. When did you first try the comedy stage besides theater?
My last year of college, I maybe did 3 open mics when I was in college, and they were all at my school, and I was the only comedian on the open mic, basically.
Oh, people were doing other stuff.
Yeah, it was like music and poetry. So to even say that counts in any kind of way other than just dipping my toe in the water isn't much of anything.
Yeah.
But then my last year in college, I started really getting keen on the idea of pursuing comedy. I had gone from thinking I would be a novelist to like a screenplay writer or a playwright, and I loved the idea of performing, but I didn't think that acting, just pursuing that, I didn't understand what that path would look like, and I don't think it made sense for me.
Okay.
And I was saying to my advisor in college, like, man, I just wish I could be writing and performing every night and just trying to get better and traveling around doing that and not thinking of stand-up at all, not having an idea of what that was.
Even though you're describing it.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Not thinking that existed, because what I was describing was vaudeville. And my advisor knew that and just looked me in the eyes and said, Ian, vaudeville's gone. It's gone. You can't just bring vaudeville back.
Okay.
And
yeah.
And I love the idea that a vaudevillian of any kind would work on a 5-minute act, and that would be their life.
Yeah.
And that 5-minute act would be perfect.
Uh-huh.
But I was reading up on that a lot and really loving that, but sad that it was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read Steve Martin's autobiography, Born Standing Up, and was like, oh man, stand up, you can kind of do that.
Mm-hmm.
And wanted to get the best comedy training that I could, and found that Chicago was a great comedy city. Went out there and
Did you know anyone there?
No.
No.
I moved with a friend, Tim Barnes, who still lives there. I think he'll be moving sometime in the next year or so. but we went to high school together in Moreno Valley.
Okay.
And then we moved to Chicago together and just kind of slowly started doing more and more stand-up and feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were you holding a job in Chicago? How are you?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
What were you doing?
I worked with kids in various ways. I'd worked in summer camps over the summer when I was in college, so I had a lot of experience with children, and that meant jobs working with kids. My resume looked great.
Yeah.
I worked in some call centers, worked at a mall kiosk briefly. I would dress up as cartoon characters for kids' parties, and I would also do clowning and magic, that kind of realm, just kids' parties. Oh yeah. That was an awkward blast. That was whew, man.
Did you have a clown name?
Oh man, I don't remember if I did. I feel like I must have, but it wasn't anything too fun. Those were weird because you're just showing up in people's houses and you got to do, say, clowning for an hour and do some balloon animals and magic and gags, play games with kids, but you're in someone's living room.
Right.
And you're basically performing as much for the adults that are sitting down and watching you as you are the kids that you're interacting with.
Yeah, maybe more.
Oh, absolutely, because those are the ones that are paying and deciding if you're doing a good job.
Right.
Yeah. So
Timmy's not happy.
Right. Yeah. It's weird, man. Yeah. That was bizarre.
Can you make a turtle out of this?
Yeah, right.
A turtle! How about another sword? I'm going to stab myself with it.
Right. Oh, man.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Singing telegrams? Was that?
I would have. Hey, if somebody wanted to give me money for singing telegrams, I absolutely would have.
Yeah.
I also wrote,
what did you sell at the kiosk?
Bracelets made out of sports paraphernalia. So, your football team, your favorite football team's symbol and mascot on a bracelet made out of a football.
Oh,
that kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, same with baseball.
A product you believed in, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have never been a true sports fan of any kind. So people, do you have this team? And I would be like, let's take a look. I couldn't even know. And it was to a level where just by living on Earth for that amount of time, I should be able to identify some sports things, and I was just painfully aware of how I couldn't.
It'd be so great if I knew that coming in, that you don't know. Yeah, do you have the kitty meow meows from Toledo?
Yeah, it would be like people would just come up and be like, "All right, do you have the Ravens?" And I would be like, "Is that football?" And they would just look at me like, "Shouldn't you know?"
Yeah.
And the answer was, "Yeah, probably."
Aren't you the one producing these in your garage and bringing these over every day?
By sitting in a chair and wearing a polo, I was supposed to be an expert.
Yeah. Uh-huh. All those kiosk guys.
Right.
The one either squirting perfume or cologne when you're walking by.
Yeah.
Or the, how about the head scratcher thing that they put on everyone's head walking by?
Ugh.
Keep that to yourself.
I remember walking through the mall once, and a guy very aggressive. I can't stand aggressive mall kiosk people. I get you're working for commission. You're just trying to pay your bills.
Yeah.
But you're also walking in front of me so that I will stop and talk to you.
Yeah.
And I don't love that dynamic.
No.
As somebody that has worked in a mall kiosk, I can officially say it.
Damn right you can.
Right. But a guy just stood in front of me and said, "All right, I'll shine one of your shoes for free." And it's like, I see what's going on here. You want one of my shoes to look weird so that the other one, then I have to pay you to... Listen, yeah. I know it.
Just do the front of both of them. How about that?
Right. That is what I should have said. That's great. I love that.
Just do the front and the very back.
Oh, man.
You can measure half. I don't care.
Right,
Just make sure it's the front half. Oh, I never got to what I was going to say about...
Channel Islands?
Yeah, Cal State Channel Islands.
Yes.
The mascot is a dolphin.
Correct.
Yes.
Named Sushi, which is how they want you to pronounce CSUCI. Rather than calling it Seasucky, they want you to pronounce it Sushi. Sushi. All right, you know what? The dolphin might have been named Tsunami, and they might have changed it sometime. I don't know. It was either named Tsunami or Sushi.
Well, I can tell you that I saw 2 different names listed.
Did
So
you?
I don't know what the internet is trying to tell me. Because
Wow.
I saw Tsunami listed, and I also saw another one.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen.
That is probably sushi, and I looked over it because I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Right.
Yeah.
My high school, when I went there, was 2 years old when I started, and my college was, I think, 4 years old when I started.
Wow.
So I was constantly in an environment of let's build a culture for this school. Let's build it. Let's do it. We're going to be the people that set the traditions.
Come on, Dolphins.
Right. Ooh, boy. Oh, man, you said that, and I felt a real pang of like, oh, God, that. Ugh.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, hey, I was telling you that I don't know if that's going to make the beginning of the podcast, but I listened to you on a few other shows.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
What
A
shows?
few other podcasts. And one the first one I clicked on and listened to because I'm friends with her and I think the show is really good is when we were on the Dork Forest with Jackie.
Oh, man, what a fun podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people that listen to this know the Dork Forest. You get on there, talk to Jackie about what your passion is.
Yeah, she's so great at just being into whatever you say.
Yes, and yours, it was fascinating. I
Oh,
loved
thank you.
listening to it because it's not something that comes up at all.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
McDonald land.
What if we didn't mention what it was? We just kept saying,
And it's you'll have to look it up.
yeah, it was really interesting. Oh, thank you. And then just move on.
Move on.
Yeah. I got to speak to her for about a full hour about McDonald's Land, which is an ongoing fascination, obsession of mine.
I honestly thought there's no way they're going to get through more than 10 minutes doing this.
Oh, I mean, listen, a normal person, sure, but I have ruined first dates talking about McDonald's Land, and that is an unfortunate fact about my life that I don't realize somebody wouldn't care about Mayor McCheese, and I've just gone too far. I don't know if you've been in comparable situations, but hoo boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is also I just made some weird comment about like specifics of McDonald's commercials and how like they specifically will all use one race in a commercial. That's why I know that, because I've for over 10 years I've been researching McDonald's advertising. So that's
I don't know. I don't remember if you guys got into this. Do you collect any McDonald's
as much
stuff?
as I can. My life is so on the road, moving around. I collect whatever I can, and that said, sounds insane, but I'm trying to buy a McDonald's playground in, I believe, Atlanta.
Huh?
Yeah, listen, I'm obsessed, all right? I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I'm talking to a guy. He's been trying to get rid of it, and he's like, I'll pay somebody to just take this off of my hands. And I was like, I will pay you. I will drive to Atlanta and pick this up and put it in storage for as long as I need to until I figure out what I want to do with it. And he's like, this man must be insane. He can't be for real. And guess what? I was for real.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're working on that. Trying
Do
to
you have any
ship
idea
it out.
where you would put that?
In storage, I've definitely got plans. I definitely have some ideas for that. I married my career. I had a full wedding for that.
Yeah.
So I have. I'm at the end of this month. I'm turning a room into a ball pit and doing a comedy show in it. I love love producing big weird things. So I'm sure I'll find a number of uses for McDonald's Land Playground.
A ball pit. I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just drove to Omaha from Chicago to pick up a ball pit, did a comedy show, and then immediately drove back. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Are these? I probably shouldn't ask this, but these the balls in this ball pit, they're vintage.
I don't know. What I do know is that I bought them for. I don't know if they've ever been inside of a McDonald's. What I know is that I searched for 6 months, literally all over the world, for the best deal on ball pit balls. 6 months, and that meant searching every little corner of Craigslist for ball pit balls.
Yeah.
All across the country. You don't just get to search Craigslist. You have to go to this part of Nebraska and this part of Nebraska and this part of Nebraska and search there. So it's a lot of
wow.
Yeah, and I'm in California.
But you have a team that works for you and does this, right?
Nope, just an insane fascination with all of these things. Yeah, in that same search, I found a very cool vintage McDonald's Land sign that features like a character that's just completely forgotten and is hand painted. And they were trying to sell it for $500, and I was like, I can't do that. That's insane.
Yeah.
But I emailed them and was like, I don't know if you have anybody else biting, but I could give you 50 if nobody else offers.
Yeah.
And trying to be polite, like I know I'm lowballing you, but just know this is on the table.
So it's real. I'm interested.
And they were so offended. They wrote me back a very mean message.
No, really?
Oh yeah. It was like very insulting. It weirdly got political and stuff.
You're probably not the true. You're not. This isn't in the spirit of McDonald's that you're lowballing me here. Why don't you bring a coupon, man? Why don't you bring a coupon from Burger King? All right.
Yeah. It got weird. He was assuming things about my race and my politics.
Oh,
it was
nice.
It was so weird, and all I did was write like a very simple like, hey, I know it's less than you were asking for, but I could give you $50, and like that, and that was it.
Yeah.
Trying to acknowledge, like, I get that it's low, but also it's fine if you say no.
Yeah.
You know, this is a very easy out, and instead it was this long response.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Very strange.
This is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to share. I need to brag to you about one of my prized possessions.
Please.
Growing up, and then I never got to go to my favorite meal at McDonald's was always the breakfast.
Yeah.
Egg McMuffin. But
Love it.
During the school year, obviously, and you never get to go.
It's tough.
But maybe I'd have like a dentist appointment, so I got to go to school late that day, and we'd go to McDonald's in the morning. But I'd always see that group of old guys with their little McDonald's coffee mugs. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have one now.
Oh,
that
that's
my dad
great.
found at a thrift store.
I love it.
Yes.
I
That
love
I
it.
guarantee was some old man or old
Sure,
woman's
sure.
that was at
Yeah.
McDonald's every morning
Yeah.
drinking that.
Describe to me what's on the mug.
It's white.
Uh-huh.
It's not. It's not it's smaller than most.
Sure,
a
sure.
standard coffee mug, and
Yeah.
it has the
Just the arches?
sunrise.
Yep.
It has the
okay.
arches and
Yeah,
an orange sun, I believe.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I love
that
it.
thing.
If you show me a picture of a Hamburglar, I guarantee you I can tell you within a 5-year range of when it was. And that's just an Ian Abramson guarantee.
I believe that. Did you have an opinion on when they tried to bring that guy?
I love it.
You did.
Listen,
yeah.
I'm on board for McDonald's land merchandise and advertising, whatever they do. I'm going to be on board with. I'm fascinated with the fact that we know what the Hamburglar is. I'm fascinated with the fact that could make headlines when they decide we're gonna do the
That's
Hamburglar
true.
for millennials.
Yeah.
You know, like
Mhm.
that's what fascinates me about it.
I don't disagree.
Right.
I don't disagree. I'm going to guess that this is the longest you've done a podcast, radio interview, any sort of interview without mentioning 7 Minutes in Purgatory.
Oh, what is that?
It's this thing I host back in Woodbury. It's a suburb here.
Yeah, we talked about Moreno Valley for 15 minutes before that. That's so funny. Oh,
No,
man.
that's your thing. I don't
Yes,
need to tell
yes.
you. It's your
7 Minutes in Purgatory is a show where comedians perform to a camera in one room, and the audience watches from a separate room. So comedians have no idea how they're doing, and that means that a comedian might feel like they're bombing, even if they're killing, and it's a fun, weird time. You know, I do it at a lot of festivals and just kind of tour it around a little bit, and yeah. So I'm very excited that that has been able to grow into something that it has been.
You can't do it when you come and do like a week at a comedy club, though.
I think I'm starting to do that every now and then.
How?
We find a way. You know, I've had to build the show. Maybe next time I come to Acme, I'll do that. But you connect from a projector to a separate space. You just need to run a wire from a projector to the separate space and then have the comedians there. And they're wearing noise-canceling headphones, so they definitely can't hear the audience.
I watched the one with Kyle Kinane.
Yeah.
Well, I watched you do one. And I also watched Kyle Kinane's.
Yeah.
And he's been on this podcast. I'm a big fan of his as well.
He's one of the best.
Yeah. And that it's very funny.
Yeah.
I'll post it on NoLaughTrack's Facebook page.
Wonderful.
With this I'll post it right below that on our page.
Yeah.
The Kyle Kinane. Very, very funny. It's, you're sort of torturing them.
Yeah, well, absolutely. The good news is that I'm not sneaking it up on them. You know, they know when I book them that's what I'm trying to book them for. So,
right. Have you? On the drive over here, I was thinking about this. What about what if you did open mic 3 minutes in Purgatory?
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. That would be interesting. See
Like, what if
people do.
if someone tried to do that for their first time on a stage?
It's weird. That would be so strange because doing the show it's worse than just practicing alone in the mirror because somebody's experiencing this, somebody's judging you somehow, and you have no idea how.
Right.
Alone to the mirror, you're trying to imagine what it'll look like when you're doing it in front of people, but there it's like somebody's hearing this.
Right. How many comics are practicing in front of a mirror?
Listen, I practice in front of a mirror every single day. Not my comedy, but many other things. I do knitting. I do balloon animals. I have a collapsible kayak that I make sure that my kayaking strokes are on point for.
That's got to be confusing with the reflection being.
You're telling
opposite.
me, absolutely right? Yeah, absolutely.
It can't be easy.
Hey, but what is in this life?
That's true. That's true. What was I gonna? Oh, I read the Funeral for a Prop Comic was something that was mentioned when I was doing my Ian Abramson.
Yeah. We had
research.
in Chicago. We had a funeral for Henry Soapfloats, legendary Chicago prop comic, died at 130 years old, and he came up at the wedding when I married my career as well. Just in that he was. He's a huge influence on me. He's kind of been through every stage. Started in vaudeville, and then just continued work, and never quite made it. Never quite gotten a TV appearance, and just kind of kept plugging away, But what a man, Henry Soapfloats. Rest in props. So we had a funeral for him.
Rest in props. I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. Let me check the time here. How much time have we taken up? Oh, okay, this is perfect. I brought something. Where did that go? Oh, again, this is an assumption. I assume that this is going to work real well with you. It could go awfully. It could go terrible.
Okay.
But maybe that's good too. Just like I assumed that you were a Pee-wee Herman fan, that worked out.
Sure.
All right. I have a thing here. It's 10 common sayings with historical origins.
Whoa.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a phrase here.
Okay.
And I want to see if you can come up with like how the history behind it.
Okay. Yeah.
Right,
the etymology, is that the word for like where it came from?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go with like crocodile tears.
Crocodile tears. Yes, absolutely. There's an old commercial in the 70s that was supposed to be about how crocodile numbers are going down and they're becoming more and more endangered. And so they had a crocodile come out and just kind of look to the camera, and a single tear rolled down. And this was kind of a way to say that the crocodiles are becoming more endangered. And it was an iconic commercial. Some of you listening may remember it. You can Google that. Just say commercial crying, and that'll be it. So that's where it comes from.
That's exactly what I have here. This is from the History Channel.
Yes.
You've never been affiliated with the History Channel.
That's funny that you ask that, because over the next month I will be on a Craig Ferguson show for the History Channel. This sounds like we just set that up.
Really?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It was already recorded. He's doing a really cool kind of game show.
Oh,
talk
I've heard
show.
about this.
Yeah, it's called Join or Die. And 3 panelists kind of discuss a topic and break down. They decide what, say, for instance, I think the one we decided was like the biggest mistakes in history. Uh-huh. And we decided which was the biggest mistake in history.
Oh,
yeah,
that sounds awesome.
It's a cool show. I'm really excited to see it happen.
And you recorded one?
Yes,
as a guest
yeah, I was a panelist on an episode.
Oh, there was other comics. Who's the other
There
panelist?
was Tim Meadows and
Never heard of him.
and a scientist of some type. I believe a biologist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was cool. So it's funny. Yes, I have a slight connection to the History Channel.
Oh, that's funny. How about this one, sir? Resting on laurels.
Oh man, resting on laurels. That's somebody that will be able to. There's an old comedy team named Laurel and Hardy, and Laurel really carried the team. You know, Stan Laurel did all of the writing. This is true. You can Google it. Stan Laurel did all of the writing, and Oliver Hardy would show up, and he would do great. You know, he would always do his job, but Stan Laurel would stay long after hours, and it just kind of became this dynamic of like, sure, Oliver Hardy's doing his job, but really, he's resting on his laurels.
You nailed it.
That's a fact. You can Google
I know.
that. Yeah.
I know. You know what? Just a couple more here.
Please.
Paint the town red.
Paint the town red.
Yeah.
That actually comes from a big snafu after the Chicago fire. They wanted to rebuild the town and everything, and they had so many volunteers, but so many of them were completely unskilled. And because everything had burned down, the only paint that was left was red, and they had just thousands of volunteers who really wanted to help, but all they were able to help with was painting. They couldn't build anything, so they painted the town red.
I believe that.
It's true.
Two more,
please.
This one, by and large.
By and large, that's more advice. That's comes from the Great Depression, when, you know, if you're going to buy one set of clothes, buy a set of clothes that you can grow into. By and large.
And as a parent, I can tell you that it holds true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not only in the origin of that story, but up until this day, 2016, when I'm buying clothes for my daughters.
Yes.
I buy large.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're buying large. That's right.
Grow into
absolutely.
it. It's also known as growing into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How about Die Hard?
Die Hard.
Yes, Die Hard.
Oh, man. That actually is in reference to the ancient myth where there was this figure that ancient, very, very old myth. You guys may or may not be familiar with it. There was this figure who this epic hero's journey where he goes to try to see his family and ends up having to in a kind of like castle figure, you know, he goes to see his family, and he has to then take down people that are trying to take over the castle while he's there, you know. The man's name is Bruce Willis, and it's a very classic ancient tale, and he ends up kind of Robin Hooding. It's almost like a retelling of those types of stories, and he ends up taking down the bad guys, and it's like a valuable lesson.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. They should. I think they should make a movie about that. I don't know why there isn't one yet.
I think they have.
Oh.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, it's called Lethal Weapon.
With Kevin Costner.
That's right. Yeah.
I love it. You get, if I'm giving out grades, you're getting an A for that one. So.
That's wonderful. What does that stand for?
A for
A stands for
excellent.
Great. That's great. I love it.
Spelling. I'm sorry. Let's see. What do you think, Ian? What else? Is there anything else we should be telling people? Do you sell anything at the shows?
I don't. You know, just I put myself out there and they can have it for free. You know, but no, definitely come out and check out the shows. It's going to be a great weekend. That'll be wonderful. Feel free to add me on Facebook or follow me on Twitter at Ian Abramson. I try not to make it hard to find me.
I don't want to spoil it.
Sure.
And you are. I'm not going to allow you to, but I will. People should find you on Twitter because when we have that pinned tweet.
Yeah.
Yours is hilarious.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, very funny.
Thank you.
I don't want to ruin it. That is one we're going to go. It's very funny. And if you're hearing this, you need to seek it out yourself. And there'll be a payoff.
Thank you.
At the very minimum, a chuckle, a guffaw.
Maybe for you, it's kind of frustrating for me, but I won't ruin the context of that either. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What do you think? Anything else, Ian?
No, I feel good. This has been a blast.
Yes, good.
Yeah. Remember to tweet me about the Civil War colors. You know, I wanna hear from you.
Yes. Yeah. Don't sound too smart though, because that'll make me feel dumb. And I don't need any help with that.
Thank you.
Yes, Ian. Good luck. Good luck. Continued success, sir.
Hey,
It's been
thank
great.
you so much.